We're back at Ventrac. We're at their test and training facility. We're going to spend the whole afternoon playing with the Ventrac tractor and various attachments. We're starting off here on their specially designed hill. It's got 4 sides. Each side is a different slope. Right now I'm on a 25-degree slope. They have 20, 25, 30, and 35-degree slopes on the 4 sides. I didn't have any trouble on the 25, so I took it to the 30-degree slope here, and this is the max rated slope for this tractor with this configuration, the dual wheels. I had to turn it a little bit uphill to keep from sliding down the hill, but I never got that pucker factor we often refer to when we have Johnny on a slope, even a lot smaller slope than this. The built-in slope gauge is, well, quite a neat feature. I've never seen anything like that. Unfortunately, something messed up on our camera, so we have no audio of this entire time on the hill. Anyway, here we are going up the hill. I didn't have any issue with that at all. In fact, it just kind of set you back in your seat, made you feel like you wanted to take a nap. And that deck would flex to allow you to handle the hillside with ease. Okay, what you're seeing here is the 35-degree side. Now this is above the tractor's rating. No one is recommending that you try to mow a 35-degree slope, but they have it here just for extreme testing. Again, it seemed to want to slide down the hill a little bit just because it was so steep, so I had to turn uphill slightly, but never once did I get that tipsy feeling. Okay, I'm convinced it can handle the hill. Let's see if Christy thinks the same way.
I was nervous as I started going up the hill just because I don't like driving Johnny on slopes, but once I got going, it really didn't feel that bad at all. I didn't have any trouble going down the sloped sides. I felt very comfortable in the seat. I wasn't going anywhere. I had to think about it for a minute before I went down the 35-degree slope side. As you can see, I went really slow, a lot slower than Tim, but there was really no reason for that. I could do slopes with this tractor, but not Johnny.
So what are we going to do here, Aaron?
So here we're going to do some tough cutting. So, some viewers might recognize it as brush hogging or bush hogging or rough cutting, but this is tough cutting.
Tough cutting.
So what we've got is an area that's kind of contoured to be somewhat of a catch basin for drainage. You can see right there, there is a drain, a water drain. It's all mowable. So there's no obstacles or anything like this. But there are some spots where you see the grass start to really thicken up in there. It's wet. So you might have some problems with certain machines. This should be okay. We've got a couple extra tires, and the flotation is really good with the dual wheels. See what you think?
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Yep. So low range, full throttle, in float.
That is tough cutting. I mean, big tall grass like that, trying to get all that corralled and under your cutter, I mean, that takes a lot of power. And well, you saw what I could do. I could go.
How fast were you going? Full throttle? And
full throttle, but I don't know. I guess is there a speedometer on this thing?
There is. It's the, when you're moving, it's the orange numbers.
Oh, okay, I was busy watching the mower, and that's just it. You can see the mower so well. You see where you're going, and I was afraid maybe that there might be just an enormous amount of weeds and stuff coming back on me, and you know how. Well, I've told you about that with Johnny about just how it's thrashing all the time, and I was surprised I didn't feel any of that.
So you feel like you could do this all day and be okay?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm out here videoing you almost sneezing.
Okay, well, let's trade then.
This as a singular attachment is awesome for us. And again, the reason is it's in front of you, and you're not guys that get tired of looking behind them pulling a tough cut.
Well, it's not just looking behind. I mean, when you have it in front, you don't mash down the material before you mow it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you'll look at a field that's been run over with a tractor and mower, a week later you'll just see streaks where the tires ran.
So I want to see how easy the attachment can come on and off. One of the problems I think with the small subcompacts for women, I don't feel like I can go out and use his subcompact if he's not home. I can't physically handle the attachment. Could I get this on by myself, go out and do it, and when he comes home, honey, I already did that.
So we have heard that directly. we can at least show that the process is simple and it's simple to learn.
Okay.
And it doesn't take any heavy manipulating, so you're not going to have to really jack up things and
That's the problem.
hook them on pins, and it really is pretty simple as far as having the strength to do it.
Okay.
So this is a good example of kind of a mix. So a mower deck is only going to take the belt PTO.
Okay.
This has belt PTO, also a storage stand, and the hydraulics. So there's 3 things to do.
And this is a big blower
Yes, it's a turbine blower.
for.
Leaves, debris, crowd
Me?
control.
Crowd
You
control.
reckon, Carl, you think I could blow you across the parking lot?
No, but I could probably blow you across the parking lot.
So basically, you want to kind of peek over the corner, and you see those hitch arms. You see them poking out right here.
Right.
You want to line them up so that they both slide in here,
Okay.
and then just catch underneath of this, and then they'll feed in between this and this.
Okay.
So you want to keep it just kind of level to the bottom side of this, and then as you drive in, you'll try and get this opening. There's a pin right behind here,
Right.
so that'll go kind of just like that.
Okay, so now the next thing is put the belt on, Christy.
Your belt's on. Now you push it in. You just give it a real hard. There you go.
Okay. So, and these are color coded.
I think it's on.
Is that one on?
Yeah, that one's on. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you
Okay,
got
that
it.
one was easier than
Yeah.
Johnny.
That's about as hard as the standard attachments get.
I think I
mean,
could
that's-
get used to that.
Or you
I
do.
didn't have to lift around on anything. And the position of the hydraulic lines for me is better. The 1025R, it's down here. I have to get down on my hands
You
and
can't
knees.
get to it easily.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go run the blower a minute, Christy?
Yeah.
That's your kind of tool.
Let's do it.
So what is the MSRP on the entry-level unit here?
This one is 1980.
And if somebody's interested in one, they should. You have a dealer locator on
Yeah.
your website?
Yeah, on our website, in the top right corner, it says find a dealer. And just
Okay.
put in your zip code or your city or state.
I think you finally found something with more hot air than me.
I did, didn't I?
That thing's amazing.
It is amazing.
What else we got, Aaron?
All right, let's go boom mower.
I want to try the boom mower. She got to try the blower. It's legal to cut at any angle, right? It's hydraulic motor, so it can cut at any angle.
Yep.
Does it have a float? Can I let the bar float, or do I have to control it?
Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, you can float it.
And that's
Yeah.
how I would think you'd want to mow in a lot of situations is
Fence rows and stuff like that.
anything
Yes.
with an angle. So for our viewers, what this kind of mower would be used for is some sort of an embankment or some like next to a pond, something that might be a slope that the mower would need to be on, or out near water or something.
Yeah, we'll go over here by the bridge where
Okay.
where the road crosses, and you go down
Yeah.
there that ditch there. You can right beyond the side, and then just take that and put it down in.
And that way you can stay out of danger.
Yeah.
So the driver doesn't get in the danger, but you're still able to mow those weeds. This particular unit is a prototype. The sickle actually isn't hooked up, so we couldn't cut with it in this situation. But it didn't really matter. The reach of the boom was what was interesting. If you can look down there, you can see that that's a long way to be mowing. You know, in this particular situation, that's not that big of a deal that there's weeds growing down in there. But if this was in your front yard
Yeah.
and you had brush down in there growing, the only other way you could get to that would be with a weed eater.
We're gonna try out the sod cutter.
It's a little dry today to be cutting sod. We like it just a little bit more moist. That way, cuts in. It's set to cut 2.5-inch rolls right now.
Okay. So it's in
Simple
half-inch
push,
increments.
No kicker bar on this, just because you got 32 horse behind it. So the blade cuts in. The wheel controls your depth of cut.
Okay.
And once you get that motion down, it's angled down, so it keeps pulling it down. And then the wheel keeps it at that right depth.
Okay. So who's your main customer for sod cutters?
So a lot of golf courses, ripping out fairway, putting in new greens or whatever.
Okay.
And anytime a landscape contractor is putting in a new flower bed, wants to rip out, or putting in patio pavers or something like that. this is a
Patios, Tim.
great- There you go.
I think my hearing's bad. I didn't hear any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think that thing will cut sod?
Look at Aaron. He's like smiling, like, oh yeah,
So
I'm
there is one trick to this thing, and that's getting it in the ground. If it's dry like it is today, It takes a little bit of finesse to get it actually underneath. But as soon as it's underneath,
well, you've got you
we'll
can
cut sod faster than you've seen anything cut sod before.
And you can, I mean, you can put a lot of down pressure on it to be able to get it in the ground.
Yeah. Now you do have to maintain somewhat of a horizontal angle to that blade so that when you're cruising, it's still cutting. So it's not like you can dig in super easy necessarily, because even though you put down pressure on, the blade is still mostly flat.
You got to do the fun part.
He did, yes.
So,
Now you can put her patio in.
yeah.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Huh? I don't hear anything.
Yeah, you're so hard of hearing when it, yeah. Pound it in,
You
Aaron.
hear that one?
That was quick and easy.
It's a heck of a lot better than a walk behind where it's shaking and rattling and you're...
Yeah, and I love the walk behind. I mean, the walk behind is the best thing I've ever seen, and then this thing just totally shows it up.
And
That was a lot.
It's clean. It's
Oh my goodness, look at that.
like a carpet.
That's stunning.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, you wouldn't... It's so simple. You just can't imagine it
See,
working
we
that
tried
well.
building our own, though. We tried building our own for a 3-point hitch. It looked remarkably like that one. But it doesn't work, and I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one, well, the biggest reason is you can put some down pressure on it to get it started.
You've got the machine behind you pushing it forward.
And I'm trying to pull it, and that's just constantly pulling it up.
Can we have one?
It's a remarkably simple solution. Really good stuff. Okay, let's get on to the next thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm stunned at that. I didn't think that would work like that. So you just put the seed across here, and then the seed, it shoots out all these little holes and
Yep, you got
kind
it.
of goes its own way then, so that it's not really in rows by the time it gets to the...
Yep, you can adjust your gate here and open it right there. And you don't have to seed with it. You can use it just as an aeration tool.
Okay.
And you can be more or less aggressive with the aeration. So if your primary focus is seeding, then you can be a little less aggressive just by carrying more speed. The longer you stay in each hole, so the slower your machine is moving, the bigger it's going to be.
Okay.
Oh.
So this aerator doesn't have the actual cores. These are just spikes, right?
Correct. Solid shaft on this one. It pokes into the ground, it punctures the ground, and then it's an eccentric head on this shaft. As the shaft spins, that spike in the ground will wobble, and it fractures the soil around it, does a couple things. It effectively aerates without leaving cores everywhere.
Okay.
It also loosens the ground up enough that if you do it, especially if you do it in a couple different directions, you can almost feel the softness of the ground improve. It also allows you to aerate more frequently. If you're poking holes in and pulling cores out, you can only do that so many times before you've just got a yard full of dirt. You can come back with this thing, especially if you have a roller kit on the back to kind of close it up a little bit. You can do this once a week if you wanted to.
Well, I can see how this would be incredibly effective, and like you say, it doesn't destroy the existing sod. It's amazing to me how many attachments you've got. How many?
Yes.
And each one of them is incredibly useful and seems highly fit for the job.
Very well engineered.
Yeah. It's not designed just to be some goofy attachment. It's a
Right.
specific purpose.
We do have a lot of attachments. You know, we always say 30 plus attachments. But I tell people, like, we very well could have 50 or 60, but we really truly have limited to the ones that we feel like work really well with our platform, because there's no sense in selling something that's okay.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other products you can buy that are okay. Like, we'd much rather sell the tractor with attachments that work very, very well with this tractor.
Well, Aaron, we really appreciate you showing us around this evening and showing us all these attachments. I like this Ventrac tractor. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out our website. Check out the Ventrac website. It'll be in the description below. And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
These are our 2 snow outfits.